We are here today to talk about Cal State University Northridge and our two master's programs that we have in assistive technology. One of them is in engineering and one of them is in human services. You can see on the first slide here contact information if you wanted to reach me after the presentation. It's easy. It's jennifer@csun.edu. First, I'll talk a little bit to you about why Csun is a great destination for these programs and for students to attend, even if you're not actually moving to the area or coming to campus, which is the case with the Assistive Tech Human Services master's degree, because that one is online. As many people know, Csun staff and faculty have a great deal of expertise in the assistive technology applications. We have for nearly 2 decades offered an assistive technology application certificate program. Many people have been certified through that 100-hour program that is hosted through Csun Center on Disabilities, which is one of the leading centers on disabilities at a university in the country. Also, with these programs, we have collaboration between 3 colleges on campus. So they're interdisciplinary and cross-disciplinary. One of our programs focuses on engineering and computer science. The Assistive Tech Engineering group, or master's degree, is mostly staffed with faculty from engineering and computer science. The Assistive Technology Studies and Human Services Master of Science degree mostly comes out of Health and Human Development. So they're each housed in those colleges. However, they have shared courses where the engineers and the human service folks are in the same class together so that they have the opportunity to learn with each other and from each other about device applications and human factors issues that come up in human service areas, as well as issues related to sometimes social work or funding that might come more out of the human services area, and also the software applications and device creation, so that those things can inform one another rather than each happening separately and hoping that when the human interacts with the device or the software, they actually work well together. And the reason the same college is involved is because we are the College of Extended Learning. I am a director at the College of Extended Learning, and it's our job to extend the reach of Csun beyond the traditional student in our region. And so we focus on making sure that the excellent programs that our faculty can create are made available to people who otherwise would not come to Csun by creating schedules that work well for mid-career adults. Most of our students in Csun College master's programs are busy adults with children, caring for aging parents sometimes, working 1 job, sometimes even 2, and they're very busy. So we have learned how to create schedules and work with our faculty to accommodate the busy lifestyles of the students who attend our programs. As well, we put the programs on a faster pace so that busy adults can start and finish in what is a very reasonable quick time and be out in the field working and using their newfound knowledge. We also focus on applied degrees rather than theoretical degrees, and these 2 degrees are very applied. And it's our job at the Csun College of Extended Learning to make sure that we're always bringing back to the faculty the needs of the mid-career busy adult. So our average student body in programs at the college is in the upper 30s, though we certainly have traditional students in their 20s, and we most definitely have students in their 50s and 60s coming back to school, either in our face-to-face or our hybrid or our online programs. So those are all the reasons why this program or either of these programs are a fantastic reason for you to consider Csun. First, as we discuss the Assistive Technology and Human Services degree, it is a Master of Science in Assistive Technology Human Services because it is an applied degree. You do take a research methods course and create a proposal that could be submitted through the university's Internal Review Board or IRB board, or it could be used at your workplace as a proposal for research that you could do outside of the program, or through the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, or National Institute of Health. So the idea is that you leave with a potential project, and maybe even having completed that project, that is scientific empirical research. Our Assistive Technology and Human Services program is fully online, starting with the second cohort, which is a little over halfway done now. We went fully online so that we could reach the national audience for which there was a demand. Most of the learning is asynchronous, though there are some real-time meetings. And what we mean by that is that there are sessions in which you meet, but not at the same time mostly. Discussion questions, assignments, and you're in the same classroom. And if you could see me, you would see I would be making that little mark with my fingers that puts classroom in quotes. But you meet in the same Moodle classroom and interact and engage with one another regularly. And in fact, you will find that online classes, if you haven't learned this already, can be more engaging because we have that asynchronous piece. And then also, there is typically in the classes once a night meeting session. However, those are not required sessions to attend, but they are required to view or listen to. And we don't require the actual attendance to those because when there's an international audience, as you can imagine, when it's 2 o'clock in the morning in one place, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon in another. And so we try to make sure that we provide that flexibility and strongly encourage people to attend those sessions, but do not require the live attendance. I will say that most students, because they take their learning very seriously in this program, do attend the sessions. I'm actually teaching that research methods class for this program, and they really try to be there live as well as listen to it again when they need to. At Csun, we currently use both a Moodle and Illuminate platform. So if you're familiar with Moodle, it is a learning management system. There are others out there. In the past at Csun, we have used Blackboard. We've used WebCT. I have also in my history used things like Desire to Learn and eCollege. So Moodle is one of those learning management systems that the California State University system has chosen to go with for the last few years. And the Illuminate platform is what we're logged into right now. We use the same setup here to teach the live class sessions, though there are only a few of those. It's a 30-credit program. There are 10 courses. 3 of the 10 courses are shared with the Assistive Tech Engineering program. So as I mentioned, you would meet with your Assistive Tech Engineering cohort peers. There is also a Culminating experience course on which students complete the project that they developed in the Research Methods course, or they complete another Culminating project that they choose to do instead, and all that's worked out with our academic chair. It's a 2-year program or 6 consecutive terms. So yes, we do go through the summer rather than taking that full summer off, though there are breaks, especially traditional breaks throughout the program. Winter break, time off around the time of Thanksgiving, some time off in the spring, in part because Csun is semi-closed during our spring break, so IT is less accessible. We chose to give some time off then, and there is some time in the summer. The program emphasizes human design interface and exploring the concept of universal accessibility. So when you're trying to imagine what this program overall is about, that's really how we emphasize or describe the program. And as you can imagine, under that line there are many, many, many details and directions that one can go in with that in mind. Some of the features of the Assistive Tech Human Services program is that you earn your master's degree in just 2 years. Oftentimes we think of a master's program only taking 2 years, but the average time in which people complete master's programs in the United States is closer to 5. Oftentimes they get caught on that thesis part. But we have a culminating project instead of a required thesis, and while you may choose to do a thesis-like project, you don't have to. And so we have very high graduation rates because we actually make things workable and applicable to your work and something that you can work around work and really make doable. The opportunity to network with cohort peers and professionals in the field who are teaching in the assistive technology classes has been one of the greatest benefits to our cohorted program for the assistive technology programs. In fact, almost all the programs that we offer through the Csun College of Extended Learning are cohorted. And what we mean by that is that you start with a group of people on day 1 in your first class, and you progress through each of the classes, lock in step from the first to the second to the end, together as a group, and you do complete all of those courses in that order. The downside could be considered that we're expecting that people will commit to the full program at the onset from beginning to end, though most people intend to complete what they start, so that usually is not considered a downside. The great positive is that these become your working and lifelong peers and friends and colleagues, and many of our graduating cohorts from various programs still meet regularly. Many have employed each other, connected each other to jobs, so it's a great opportunity to work with these folks for 2 years. We have excellent support services, and for that reason, the College of Extended Learning here at Csun has better than an 85% graduation rate. Most universities have less than a 50% graduation rate. Cal State University Northridge has slightly higher than 50% on-time graduation, but the College of Extended Learning with our programs, because of our excellent support services, has better than an 85% graduation rate. Financial aid is eligible to all students, and I believe most of our students in the Assistive Technology Human Services program in the past and present have used government-assisted financial aid. At the master's level, the aid that's available are loans for any program, and sometimes students find independent of CSUN private scholarships, which of course can be applied. We're very competitively priced. In fact, we haven't raised the price in a couple of years. In terms of tuition, it's approximately $23,000 for the full program. So it's about half that per year, which is much cheaper than similar programs that are offered at other universities like USC, and there's one more on the East Coast, and the name has escaped me right now. But it is very affordable for students, and oftentimes that is one of the compelling reasons why they choose this program. You'll be able to work and maintain your regular lifestyle while you earn your master's degree, especially when you're studying online. And I have been teaching online for 10 years, and I also earned my doctorate online. So I can tell you it is possible, and having that opportunity to do it online allows you to be a parent, to be a spouse, to be an employee, to be an employer, and strive towards those goals and ambitions that you have in your professional and academic life. You also develop online learning, team building, and e-communication or electronic communication and work skills. And even though we tend not to think of those qualities when we're studying online, just navigating internally with the system of Illuminate and Moodle and using electronic modes of communication to do your work mimics much more the 21st century workforce that we're in today and that we're moving towards. So we're not those people who are embarking upon adventures like this and online programs like this don't have to worry that their kids are going to pass them up too soon. You're also keeping up with the times. Benefits to the Assistive Tech Human Services program include that networking with your peers, preparation for human service work with disabled veterans, adults and children in need of assistive technology, and relevant assistive technology for the aging population. In our first cohort, we have 2 students who were or are now currently working for the Veterans Administration. In fact, our second cohort, there's one as well. We have several people who have worked for or currently work for regional centers, and in California, regional centers are the centers that provide services to families and school districts that serve people with disabilities of all types. I know of one of our graduates who works for a senior community, and he works in their health and fitness program and was hired to do that as he was working on his degree in assistive technology and human services. We have people who work for the junior blind, one person who runs his own software company but did the human services program because it related more to the kind of service that he and his company were providing, although it had an engineering focus as well. There are many others. One interesting project that one of our graduates recently worked on, because we're in Southern California, she was asked to consult on the Glee Project because the upcoming group of contestants, they have selected 2 people with disabilities, and they wanted to make sure that the sets that they had created were appropriately accessible. And so our graduate was able to work with them on making sure that they were accessible for the specific needs of those folks who were going to and are currently participating in that Glee Project audition phase. You also learn to collaborate with assistive tech product and software developers to create relevant assistive technology for populations in need. One of the very exciting things about these two programs and from the onset was that the engineers and the human service, social worker, human resources, teacher, counselor folks would work together so that products aren't being created that would have a high rate of not being used for abandonment, and they were really receiving their information from the people who would use them rather than neat ideas that may not actually be applicable. This is a long list of careers that are in the assistive technology human services field that's been provided to us by our academic chair. And for those of you who want more details about career and academic questions, I'll make sure before we end the session that you have her contact information. The way that we're structured is that I'm the academic director, or excuse me, I'm the administrative director, and I can assist you with questions about application, how the program works, processes, and some of the content areas. And then our academic folks can answer specific questions about careers as well as the courses, course sequencing, and learning outcomes in more detail than I can, though I can to some extent. You can apply for the Assistive Tech Human Services Program now. We do have several applications in progress, several received for our upcoming cohort in the fall. I think we have 7 people already in the program with many more applications that are being reviewed. So you can see that there is a link here to our program website. And for career and curriculum information, I did list Vicki Jacques, J-A-Q-U-E, who is the ATHS Academic Coordinator. I've listed as at second to the last bullet her contact information as well as my email address again, and I can always pass things on to her. To apply, many people want to know, well, what are you looking for in an applicant? You can have a bachelor's in any discipline. We're really looking for people who are passionate about assistive technology as it relates to people and users and their actual use and assistance with that use. The university allows for a 3.0 GPA in the last 60 units to be admitted into a master's program without the GRE. For those of you who have a cumulative GPA or a last 60 unit GPA at 2.5 or above, but not quite a 3.0, would need to take the GRE. Many students want to know if they'll have to take the GRE. International students for this program do qualify for I-20s when it's offered face-to-face. So that line is a little bit more applicable to the Assistive Tech Engineering program now that the Human Services program has moved to the fully online platform. And again, we list the cost per unit. Why don't I open it up for questions right now for the Assistive Technology Human Services program before we move on to its sister program in engineering. And if you use the little hand-raising function just below our names, to the left there's a little hand. I can call on you and release the mic to people if you have questions. Looks like there aren't any questions yet unless I'm missing. Oh, there we go. Maria. Go ahead, Maria. I'll release the mic and you can click on the mic in the bottom left corner.
It looks like Maria was having her mic on as well as typing. I believe she's entering her comments in the chat window.
Okay, thank you. All right, Maria, it looks like you answered through the text. Oh, I don't see the question yet. Maria, were you? Okay. I already have a master's in rehab counseling, and I received a 3.8, so that means I don't have to do the agreed. You do not have to do the GRE. No, if you have a 3.0 or higher GPA in the last degree earned, then you would not have to retake the GRE. great. Anyone else have any questions? Not yet. Oh, looks like there's one more. Go ahead, Rosemary. I'll release the mic.
What about if you've already, or what if you've taken the Center on Disabilities Assistive Technology Application Certificate Program? I believe there's some EUs that were earned. Can some of those, or a portion of the units that were earned, be transferred to the master's program?
The Assistive Technology Application and Certificate Program is, like you said, a CEU program. So those are continuing education units, which are relevant in a professional setting, but they're considered non-credit, which means they're not for university credit. It doesn't mean that they're any less valuable. It just means that they're not transferable into a university program. So for that reason, no, you cannot transfer those in. However, we find that students who have been successful in that program are usually very engaged and quite successful in this program as well. But the material that we cover is different. So it's in addition to, we have contemplated including that as part of the curriculum, but it would be an add-on. It would not be able to be replaced or to replace any of our credit-bearing courses because accrediting bodies don't accredit the CEU or non-credit courses, and financial aid will not cover those courses. So that's a very good question. It's a great backup. It's great before you take this program, and many of our students do that as well, but it isn't something that's included in it. Any other questions before we move on to the engineering program? Okay. Assistive Technology Engineering is also a Master's of Science program in engineering. It actually has a substantive computer science component as well. This is a professional science master's degree by the Council on Graduate Schools. What that means is the Council on Graduate Schools in the state of California, as a part of the California State University, has granted this a professional science master's designation, or PSM designation. And what that means is that they have sort of accredited, for a lack of a better word, this program as one that is not only theoretical but practical in application in the field of engineering and computer sciences as it relates to assistive technology. For those outside of California, that professional science master's designation may not be something that people will be familiar with, though it doesn't draw against it. Within California and within our system, it's well known that professional science master's degrees have this added benefit that is stating this is not only a degree that provides the theoretical foundation that you need, but also the practical and professional foundation that you need. Because of that, it has a relatively short and very flexible internship course, which is why it is 33 credits instead of 30 credits. So this is an 11-course program. Still 3 of those courses are shared with the Assistive Technology Human Services Master's Program. The theory courses in assistive technology are present, as well as an internship and seminars. And we have created relationships with internship providers that will pay for those internships in some cases. So it's become a bit competitive in that way and a very positive opportunity for those who can legally work in the United States. But everyone has the opportunity to do an internship, and the internships are varied and even by substance as well as time. Some internships could be relatively short, others could be longer, depending upon the relationship that's established with the provider and the student. And our faculty and our academic lead or academic chair, who is C.T. Lin in the case of this program, work with the students to make sure they all have a placement. Some may require students to go into a site, others will allow them to work from a distance so that we can still be appealing to those mid-career, very busy adults. And if you're not in state and you're traveling, especially as this moves more and more online and less hybrid, that will still be a possibility. It's a 2-year program again, or 6 consecutive semesters. Research and development components are embedded in the curriculum, which is part of the professional science master's piece of it. And we have partnerships with local mechanical and biomedical firms to place our students. And of course, an internship is oftentimes an interview. It's a way for a company to find out if this is someone that they would like to keep and hire and work with in the long term. So it's a great opportunity for people for job placement. features of the Assistive Technology Engineering program include earning your Master of Science in just 2 years in engineering. You have the opportunity, again, to network with your cohort peers and professionals in the field. With both programs, I didn't mention this earlier, but one of the things we also focus on doing through the Csun College of Extended Learning is hiring faculty not only from our regular faculty ranks, but also including faculty who are practitioners in the field. So engineers who are currently working in the field would teach also on our Assistive Technology Engineering program, and oftentimes take students on field trips of sorts to their workplaces to learn more about what they're doing on a day-to-day basis in the shop rather than just in the classroom. You would complete your internship with local firms interested in hiring assistive tech graduates. Again, we have the same support services for both programs with an 85% better graduation rate. Our current Assistive Technology Engineering cohort is doing so well, we suspect they're likely to graduate everyone on time, so it may be one of our programs that manages to keep everyone and graduate them on time, which we're very excited about. There is financial aid eligibility also for this program, and it's very competitively priced. It is difficult to find an engineering program of any kind below $30,000 for the full program. That includes the internship costs for placement. It includes the lab costs. All of that is factored in. We don't factor in books, we don't factor in parking, because those are variable costs that we can't control, but we factored in other fees. Sometimes students get emails if they're students in any system, including Cal State Northridge, in which the university lets everyone know there have been budget cuts, therefore tuition will be affected, and it could go up as much as 10%. Well, the great news is with our programs, it won't go up. And we just tell our students, ignore these, pop them into your trash or junk mail if they don't apply to you. We've guaranteed this price to you, and because we're a self-support college and not relying upon the state-funded dollar, it doesn't apply. So this will be the price for those who start that cohort throughout the duration of the cohort. And if the price goes up for a future cohort, it only applies to them, not to you once you've started. Also, because we commit to cohorts with all of our programs, once we start, we teach out the entire cohort regardless of how many people are still left standing. So if for some reason we ended up with only one person left at the third class of 11, we would keep teaching at the regular rate for that one person until we were done. So we do guarantee that all those courses will be offered in succession. We will register you for them ourselves once you start, assuming that you don't withdraw from the program, and we will continue through to the end at these prices that I'm offering. Also the work, and you'll be able to work and maintain your regular life while you learn and practice in a flexible internship setting. And I can tell you, I've met with many of the internship sites, and they're very excited about our group of students that are coming in now, because they really do see it as an opportunity to work with students who are excited about the work and to potentially hire them after they've completed their degree or at least completed the internship. So benefits include that networking that we talked about. You complete your internship with a local hiring agency. You work with various firms to develop AT devices for disabled veterans, adult and children in need of assistive technology. We have a couple of students, in fact, working with a local school district. So it's not just veterans administrations or engineering firms, but also can be within the special education departments of school districts. And you learn about relevant AT for aging populations. You learn to collaborate with social service professionals and AT users to create relevant assistive technology. As I mentioned when we discussed the Assistive Tech Human Services degree, the idea to have you collaborate together so that the engineers and human service folks are working together. Information for applying to this program is very similar to what I provided before. It's an online application. As soon as you start your online application, you'll begin to hear from our program manager who will help you through the process to the extent that you would like his assistance. As soon as your online application comes through, we start to request those other documents like transcripts. If you're a Csun grad from Northridge, those students do not have to provide transcripts to us because we have access to those from Csun, of course, and those that were submitted to be admitted to Csun. Those outside of Csun would need to submit all of their transcripts, and Jesse Nepper, our program manager, would work with you on that. GPA requirements in terms of GPA and GRE are the same for this program, but we are looking for students with bachelor's degrees in engineering or computer science. In some cases, exceptions can be made, but it requires students to complete prerequisite courses, and that's outlined in a conditional admission. So it may be possible, and if you are interested and you do not have a degree in engineering or computer science, you can speak to CT Lin. It's ct.lin@csun.edu. You can see his email address there. I can tell you that we do have students in the current cohort who were not from that background, someone in biology and some other science disciplines, and they were able to take a Java course for programming as well as a basic or introductory engineering course to make sure that they were able and ready to succeed in the advanced courses that we offer. International students qualify for I-20 visas, and as long as you meet language requirements, which are on the website. If you follow the website information up above, you can find under the apply page what those language requirements are for the university, and we require the same standard that the university requires. We do have currently 4 international students in our program, 3 of which are on student visas. 1 has become a resident. So it is not uncommon at all that students come here from other countries and study in and succeed in our Assistive Technology Engineering program, among others. Again, for career and curriculum information, I will answer what I can if you have questions, but CT Lin may be able to answer more questions depending upon the detail of the questions that you have. So now I'll open it up for questions about this program and also questions that you may have about the combined programs together. Go ahead, Rosemary. I'll release the mic.
Jennifer, you mentioned about the internship and seminars for the Assistive Technology Engineering degree. Does the other, I think Human Services, does that also have the internship and seminar available throughout the 10 course?
The seminar sessions actually are one of the shared courses, so they both have the seminars. The Assistive Tech Human Services program does not have the required internship. One of the reasons that the Assistive Tech Engineering program is a professional science master's and has 3 added units was to fit that internship opportunity in there. Oftentimes internships are not desirable for mid-career busy adults, and so we include them when it makes sense and when it's going to create an opportunity, but try to avoid them when it could be a deterrent, especially for people who are working full-time. In the case of Assistive Tech Human Services, it wasn't necessary, and it may or may not have been relevant. Many of our people are already working in the field, so they're applying that work there. Whereas for the engineering folks, few engineers have worked in the field of AT or have access to it without the internship, and we wanted to make sure that their experience that they did have was relevant to the field. So in that case, it made sense. We were also able to guarantee that those would be flexible times if they're involved in that program. So for many reasons, the internship is only associated with the engineering degree, and the seminars, though, are shared, you're together, and they're associated with both. Good question. Any other questions for the group? Go ahead, Rosemary.
Hi, sorry, I think I'm just asking the questions. In terms of the master's degree, are you guys in collaboration with the RESNA, which I know they have? I think it's, I can't recall the RESNA, what it stands for, but I believe they do offer, I'm not sure if it's credits or CEUs. Are you guys in collaboration with them for the transferable units?
We contemplated working and incorporating RESNA certification within the program. One of the problems was that many of our students would not want that or already had it, and in either case it would require something of them that they didn't want or didn't need, and we realized that it would reduce the likelihood that people would enroll rather than increase it. So in terms of collaboration, we attend their conferences and we work with folks who are involved with RESNA, but we haven't incorporated their curriculum into ours or vice versa because it became too specialized in that area for those who were not interested, and we tried to keep it applicable to a larger audience. But the topic comes up, and it is possible that we'll reconsider that in the future.
Okay, thanks. There was a comment in the chat box from Maria Oliveras. She asked, can you give examples of the projects for the ATHS, which is the Human Services degree?
I can. We have graduated one cohort, and we have our second cohort running now, and we're recruiting for the third. So there have been a limited number of projects, but one of the most exciting was a project on wayfinding that was actually funded by a grant to pay the students a scholarship and to complete their project. The university has a grant in which you can apply, and I don't recall the name of the grant right now, but it's within our university, and it requires a disabled student and a non-disabled student to work on a project together and complete the project and provide the results. And what our two students did was take their project that they wrote their research proposal for in the Research Methods course, which was on wayfinding for people who were blind and visually impaired. And what they did was they created a GPS program that linked to a common GPS device that gave substantive remarks and information about sites on campus as one is finding their way across campus. And it was more than walk 100 steps to the west and find the entrance to the bookstore. But beyond directive pieces of information like that, it also said in the bookstore you will find a copy center. Prices of the copies per copy is X amount. You can also purchase postage stamps and mail from there. You will also find within the bookstore several other items that they listed that were there. The Sang College of Extended Learning is located on the second floor of the bookstore, and the fast food restaurants that you can visit in this building include. So it was much more substantive. It would explain where restrooms are, on what floor, and how they were accessible. It would explain, and does explain because it still exists, vending machines and other services like that, so that people could know I'm passing a building and on the main floor right inside the door is a vending machine that sells flash drives and pens as well as candy, things that a sighted person could see through the window or learn and know that our visually impaired and blind students wouldn't know. So they did a pilot study that was funded, which was one of the unique and very fun things about that, in which they programmed using mapping devices that we have on campus and substantive responses that they created themselves to create a wayfinding device, and then they tested it with 5 users as a pilot to see how effective it was. So that's really one of the neatest projects that folks have completed. Another student did a project focused on accessible playgrounds. And I don't know the details as much of that one because I wasn't as involved in that one as I was the wayfinding project. Another student did a project on devices attached to cochlear implants that would allow students to feel positive about the use of the device because it looked like the handheld piece of it looked like an iPhone or a smartphone rather than a gadget that wasn't cool. And so her study was about the perception of adolescents in middle school of devices like this and how they would abandon and not use things that they needed because of the perceptions of their peers, and the use of devices and the development of devices that were perceived to be cool, positive, high-tech, neat by peers would not only reduce abandonment, but make it cool to have something like that, or at least blend in with other kids because the device that they were carrying, using, holding, touching, needing to manipulate looked like something they could also use for texting. So those are the three that I can think of off the top of my head, and I'm sure many, many more very exciting projects will come out of our second cohort. Any other questions? Thank you, Kevin. It's humbling and impressive to be a part of the program. On my end, which is predominantly administrative, I watch and see what our folks are doing, and I agree. It's wow for what they're doing. And it was very rewarding to be able to teach and to continue teaching. Right now I'm teaching the online research methods class and see the ideas and the great inventions even that people are coming up with. It looks like Rosemary's typing something. When did the MA degree in AT begin? Actually, they're both MS degrees. They both began in 2000, and we started developing them in 2007, but our first one was offered in 2009. And the distinction between the MA and the MS is an MA would be more theoretical, and in both cases the MS lets people know that this is an applied science degree, and then with the Assistive Tech Engineering, that added professional science master's piece to it is super applied. I've provided you with website links on several pages. I think maybe the most important piece is my easy email address to remember or copy and paste, which is jennifer@csun.edu. If any of these links aren't working for you or you don't remember them, if you can remember Jennifer and you can remember Csun, you can drop me an email and let me know that you're interested in the program and you would like to learn more. And if I can't answer your questions, I will make sure that your information gets to someone who can. We're very responsive. You'll usually hear from me within 24 hours. My husband was just trying to call me now, but he will let you know I even answer on emails. Would it be possible to do the web tour of Sang website? I'm sure it would be if someone can log. I don't know how to put a website into the whiteboard here. I haven't done that before, but if we can do that, absolutely. I think that's what you meant, Rosemary. Is that right?
Yes, yes. The web tour feature is actually located at the very top of your Illuminate, the list of row icons. It's a global icon. And if you click on the global icon, it'll ask you to type in the URL, the URL that you want to do for the website. Oh, can you do that one more time? I think it just disappeared. I accidentally clicked on something.
I have it on my screen. I learned something new today. Can you see it now?
Okay, yes, yes. Can everybody else see it?
Looks like it. Okay, so if you went to the Csun website, I think that's oftentimes the easiest place to go rather than trying to remember long email addresses, is if you remember Cal State University Northridge, it's Csun, sunny California, so csun.edu. And you could do a search, but you can also go to colleges and go to the Sang College, which is the College of Extended Learning. People oftentimes ask us how we were named Sang. If you peruse the websites of Csun for a little while, you'll find that a substantive donor of the university about 15 or 20 years ago donated money, and when you donate a lot of money, we name a college after you. So the Sang College was donated in his name and his family's name. Maria, I'm glad you started your application, and I'm glad you're going to contact me. I look forward to it. We do consider applications on a rolling basis. So the sooner you get everything in, the sooner we'll be able to review that application and give you an answer. Okay, I've got us here on the Csun College website, which was recently launched. So if you've been here 2 weeks ago or longer, you saw something else. Now we actually look like we're in the 21st century on our website as well. You can find our program in different ways. Programs by degree and certificate is oftentimes the easiest. Master's degrees are listed here, and we can view them all, probably in alphabetical order. Yay, Assistive Technology is at the top. You can choose either engineering or assistive technology studies and human services. I'll choose the engineering since it's first in alphabetical order. And you will find if you go to this site everything that you need to apply, including contact information if needed. There's a brief program description, which this serves as our brochure for the program. If you look at the right navigation over here in green, we have the About the Program or the program homepage. Program requirements that we discussed earlier in terms of GPA. It also allows you to link to the English language proficiency requirement information if needed. The curriculum or courses are listed here so that you can see which courses are listed and their course descriptions. So first there's a list, then there are course descriptions, and of course then you want to know, well, when are these courses offered? So you can click on course schedule here, or you can click on it over here to find that schedule. And as there are different cohorts listed here, the schedules will be updated. We're currently working on the Fall 12 cohort schedule, which will be similar to this schedule here. If we scroll up a little bit, you'll find the practical fieldwork information, which is very brief information in this program, again, because it is flexible and not pre-structured and something that we work out based on an individual student and employer basis. There are not a lot of details we can give you in advance because we work with you to make sure that something is a good fit for you and the employer working with the interns. We always have full disclosure with our tuition and fees. So not only do you know the rate of the program and how many units it is and the total cost, but you also know how much is due on each date so that you can factor those things out and say to your family, dear, this is what I'm doing for the next 2 years. This is what we'll be paying either through financial aid or however you arrange that. And in terms of tuition and fees, this is the only thing that will be added unless you need to take a prerequisite course. And of course, there's the added cost of books. Faculty information is here as well with our bios of the faculty members who teach in the program. You'll notice that some of the bios repeat in the Assistive Tech Human Services program because we have those shared courses. We have an FAQ page based on questions that have been commonly asked and answered. Contact information so that you can reach Jessie Nepper about the program, who is our program manager, and the big apply button so that you can apply to the program. The navigation is the same for the Assistive Technology Engineering Human Services program. You can go back to programs by degree or certificate, choose master's degrees and human services. And I won't go through each of those with you because the navigation is the same for your own ease, the home site all the way through to the apply page. And it sounds like Maria has already applied, so hopefully others who are here, like Kevin with a wow, will be applying as well. I'm glad the website was helpful, and I'm glad you taught me a new tool today. Any other comments or questions? I'll release the mic. Thank you.